Good day to you my friends, I'm Kenator, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new post-apocalyptic exploration survival game, Forever Skies, from developer Far From Home. I've completed this from beginning to end, so this will not just be a first impression, so stick around and let's run through how well it played. And I'll try to keep spoilers to an absolute minimum. This game has been presented by many as Subnautica, but in the air, myself included. And while there is some comparison, you shouldn't expect a cookie cutter copy with a change in setting. Yes, you start crash landed on a planet with nothing to your name, but there are some big differences. Firstly, there's no base building, as you live out of the airship. The airship itself doubles as your transportation as well as your base. And this can get quite big if you want, but more on that a bit later. Once you bust out of your landing pod, this first area gives you your initial introduction to the game, as well as your teeny tiny little airship, to get you started on your journey, as well as the tools to survive. It does a good job of quickly teaching you how to build and edit parts in the hull of your airship before launching you out into the unknown. From here, you're completely free to explore in any direction you wish. It's completely open gameplay. Some points of interest may be gated by certain equipment that you might need on your airship, but this is a minor thing that you'll quickly find and use. But here is where being an early access game is quite a downside due to the game's incomplete nature. With games like Subnautica, the game has plenty of layers of different gameplay, based on the environment first, with swimming, and then onto equipment and suit upgrades like the Sea Glider and the different vehicles that let you explore the many different areas. Obviously, these sort of things can't be done here in Forever Skies, since, well, humans can't swim in the air, aka fly. And speaking of the different areas, you really only have two main areas right now, which are above and below the fog, which doesn't let you experience very much in terms of different environments. But as I said, it's only early access and not a finished game. That said, the underfog though really drives home a whole different feeling from flying above. It takes on an eerie, somewhat horror-ish vibe, which I really don't want to spoil for you guys, as you will spend most of your time getting ready to go down there. But when you do, it's visually stunning and gives you a very different way of exploring. The game's visual style focuses a lot on different colours, which brings a good bit of life to what is a drab, sorry state of the ruined world. The weather and time of day bring big changes to the environment visuals, especially the storms that can roll in. The points of interest have a good bit of variety to them, both in different types as well as different configurations, so you're not always going to the same building again and again. They are all just a little bit different, and you'll need to learn how to identify and spot each type from a distance, as each will have different materials you will need on your journey. The UI has a nice clean look to it, of which I'm a fan of. I think it's well laid out, and I found it easy to navigate. Throughout the game, you'll be slowly building up your little airship, and there is a good amount to add to it, both from usable devices to purely aesthetic additions. Not only that, but you'll eventually have a way of doing some really nice appearance adjustments with a paint tool. Through my playthrough, I thought I had a medium-ish sized airship, but I could have gone so much bigger with it. The airship expansion is limited by distance from the link to the balloon, as well as the mass limit of the balloon, which you will be increasing as you play. But needless to say, you can transform this thing into a majestic flying palace if you have enough materials. And having enough materials comes down to whether you want to grind enough for them or not. But I don't think this grind itself is too bad. But some people may not like that area of the game. Being a survival game, there is always a shortage of materials, and farming them up via the different locations while keeping yourself alive didn't get too boring for me. Each time I found new resources or got a new blueprint for a device, I found myself setting out to make sure I could build it. But then I ran into even more blueprints and key items as I farmed what I needed from the different POIs. In this way, the game is fantastic for those of you that like to explore at your own pace. Pacing is something that the game I think does really well. You can really play it like a story game and just focus through, or you can go the explorer completionist route and find all the little bits and bobs for your airship as well as lore for the story. Story-wise, however, it is most obviously incomplete. Being the explorer I was, I put about 20 hours into playing before I reached the end, but you could easily do it in half that. So keep that in mind if you're not a fan of unfinished early access titles, but for me I think there was enough to justify the price. So what's coming in the future for Forever Skies? Well, one of the big features they are touting is being able to play in up to 4-player co-op. This would put you and 3 other friends on just the one airship. This could certainly speed up the pace of collecting resources and then put a little more emphasis on survival with more people to keep alive on your cramped little airship. They have said combat will be expanded, as well as what you can do with and put on your airship, like being able to grow your own plants, fruit and veg. This was something I saw in the trailer and was really looking forward to, but isn't in this early access launch. But I'm still very much looking forward to it. Obviously the story will continue as well, and that will bring new places to visit and explore and lore to find. The developer Far From Home has also said they wish to expand to more languages as well as add full controller support, and this will be delivered in larger patches every 3 to 4 months with smaller patches in between. As for what I'd like to see, I would have to say the addition of voiceover would do wonders for this game. You pick up a lot of lore going around via data pads, and I think this would be great if you could keep on playing while this is read to you instead of stopping to read it. Even if it's just for the stuff related to the main story elements and not every lore piece, this would be the icing on the cake for me. And as I love creative building games as well, anything extra for the airship will always be welcome. And with that, I have to say yes, I would recommend this game, and as I said before, I think it's certainly a good price for what you get. You can find the Steam page link for the game in the description, and if you like this review, you can support the channel by subscribing, becoming a member on YouTube, or donating via Donorbox. Now don't forget to drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Kenator, out.